25% of the world's nickel reserves. And associated with that nickel is the mineral chromite. And chromite is an essential mineral for the production of stainless steel. You can't produce stainless steel or some of the high-tech steels without chromium. What we've done is Gary Morris and myself and a team of mineral sands specialists went to New Caledonia and we sampled around the entire island. We did aromatic surveys, we did ground sampling, we essentially flew the entire island and took boats wherever we had to and sampled over 240 sites. And in doing that, next slide please, in doing that we've discovered a huge resource that is extremely high quality chromite. The world produces chromium that is about 46% chromium oxide. This deposit across most of the island looks like it's going to produce something on the order of 54% quality chromium product. It's very thick and it appears to be quite extensive. And so we're looking at large tonnages, high grades, and high quality. To actually produce this product, it requires water, magnets, and electrostatic separators with no chemicals. So we don't have a chemical plant like we're having to build in Cameroon. This is done very simply and very inexpensively to produce products that are very saleable, as most of the stainless steel production now is in China. Next slide, please. We've been fussing around with a gold show in Arizona that my brother and my wife's uncle discovered a few years ago. We started with a small occurrence, and that has grown and grown and grown. And the dilemma we've had in announcing that discovery is determining the limits on it. And what we've discovered is that it's gone from a small occurrence on a little hill near Tucson, Arizona to something on the order of 94 square miles in size. So we're in the process of acquiring those lands and gaining control of those mineral titles so that we can go ahead and actually do something with that property. The other thing we've done and spent considerable time and effort on were acquiring uranium properties that we had some historic knowledge of. And the biggest dilemma there has been controlling the land. We picked up 100 square miles of leases there. But in addition, the hardest job has been trying to find the historic resource data. We know where the pounds are, we know their grades and thicknesses and that, but we have had a tremendous time trying to find that historic information. The unfortunate part of that story is that uranium prices have dropped recently, and that resource, even though it is a nice resource for Geovic, has not much economic value at the current time. Next slide, please. This is just a couple examples of some of the outcrops where we're finding ore-grade gold mineralization at the surface in some cases and across this entire region. In terms of what this means, there's no drilling. There's never been any drilling in this area. It's never been tested as far as we can tell in terms of rock chip sampling on the surface. We can look for hammer marks and that on the outcrops. And we're finding at the surface ore-grade mineralization. So it's anybody's guess what's there, but the district is huge. It's probably the largest untested gold area in North America. At least that's my interpretation. So in terms of what we're doing, Gary Morris is managing the New Caledonia operations, and we're moving ahead diligently on defining those resources. Once the license issues in the near term, which is we've applied for, that gives us exclusive rights to those resources, we will begin an extensive drilling program that will define the overall scope or size of those deposits. Along with that will be some preliminary feasibility study. We already have a pretty fair idea what that's all about because we've already done quite a bit of metallurgy, and we also have a pretty good idea of the historic drill resource that exists there, and we're simply adding to that. In terms of uranium, we're looking to package that deal and just see if there is an interested party that would be looking at a long-term source of uranium and therefore interested in putting some serious money into that to actually bring shareholder value to Geovic, as well as provide an entity with a supply of uranium that people are talking about as a non-green test that resource area. Next slide, please. As Dave had mentioned briefly, the GeoAid program in Cameroon has been very successful, thanks to St. Mary's Hospital here in town, and also to another group, Medical Teams International in Portland, Oregon. We received donations of over $1 million of medical equipment and supplies that were sent to Cameroon, and we partnered with the President Bia's wife, Chantal Bia, and were able to distribute those supplies successfully to hospitals, medical aid centers, and to the people that really needed them. It was a tremendous success, and I take my hat off to St. Mary's for their help. The other thing is the micro enterprise program has been very successful. We had a group sewing uniforms for us in Cameroon, and they are now doing the same for another mining entity in that country. So we're starting to see some real successes on the ground with GeoAid, and I think it's a wonderful program. And that's it.